What's up, family and friends? Welcome to the Woke Nation, our nation of factual truth, where we feel free to share knowledge and spread the knowledge of factual truth without fear, without favor, and without feint, where we encourage us to live our lives and live it well through the knowledge of factual truth because it is our lives. And personally, I'm encouraging you to enjoy your life. Enjoy it. Don't endure it. Don't serve. Don't worship. Dare to know and do what you know. Spread the knowledge you have. I'm sharing with us what I titled Parents and Their Children, or Children and Parents. Parents and Children. And I will start from where they brainwashed and indoctrinated us to show us the path that the pastors, ministers of God, those that preach the Bible, those that teach the Bible, the part they ignore is very important because they ignore it because it will open the eyes of the children. It will break the chains of slavery that was placed on children through their parents, their religious parents, their spiritual parents, their believing parents, their ignorant parents, as it has affected all of us, and that's why most of us are struggling. I saved this post that I will share later. I saw it before coming online. Let me read it before I go to the Bible. It said, religion is not benign, but it says, stop pretending it is. Some of the side effects of childhood indoctrination can include anxiety, terror, lack of trust, immaturity, inability to make decisions, sexual hang-ups, inability to understand science, inability to determine fact from fantasy. You can't tell me no, it did not affect you. Oh, you know, no, it did. I hear some people arguing like, no, nobody forced me to be a Christian. Nobody forced me to be a Muslim. Nobody forced me to believe what I believe. Yeah, because you didn't know what when it happened. It's like saying nobody forced you to be circumcised. For those of us that are circumcised, did your parents seek your consent to circumcise you? No. Did you know when you were circumcised? No. That's how indoctrination and brainwash worked on you. And most of the errors you have today, most of the things you think makes you imperfect, makes you the quote unquote quote when people claim I am a human. The thing that make you believe that to err is human and to forgive is divine. The thing that make you believe that you are more mortal and the invisible being is immortal. The thing that makes you believe there is always somebody against your success, against your progress. There's always somebody after you. The things that make you believe you have to pray. For when you get up in the morning, you have to pray. When you're going out, you have to pray. In everything, you have to pray. In everything, you have to give thanks. In everything, you have to put God first. You didn't know when those things was heaped on you. But today, you think is, oh, you are against my belief. It's never your belief. No belief system is your belief so long you are alive today. No belief system is your belief. And if you are wise, you won't live by belief. You will live by knowledge because knowledge is strength. So welcome to Bible study. Let me walk us through this. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 14. Christians always quote verse 9, where he tell them, my grace is sufficient for you. My strength is made perfect in your weakness, which is a lie. They are weak and dying. The grace is disgraced. They have been disgraced everywhere, not receiving the answers to their prayers, not receiving the promises of God as they claim. This is now the third time that I am ready to come to visit you. Imaginary Paul speaking to imaginary people in a work of fiction. He said, it is you I want, not your money. How many apostles today you will hear say this? How many prophets today you will hear say this? How many imam, how many evangelists, how many teacher, how many pastor, how many woman or man of God you will hear say this? It is you I want, not your money. But they will tell you, oh no, the Lord needs you. Come to the Lord, it's free of charge. Then they collect your tithes, they collect your offering. It's your money they want. They don't want you. They don't want you to know. They don't want you to wake up. They don't want you to know the factual truth. They just want your money. All of them, whether in Christianity, in Islam, in Judaism, or whatever religion it is, where they collect your money, it's your money they want. They don't want you because they know if you are yourself, you will not give them. You are dying. After all, he said children should not have to provide for their parents. Children should not have to provide for their parents, but parents should provide for their children. And some of you will argue, come on, what are you saying? Yeah, your parents provided for you before you grew up. No, that's not actually what he's saying. Paul was, according to there, he was talking to grown-ups. He was not talking to like little children. So those people, as we say it in Christianity then, his children in the Lord, his spiritual children, his converts, they are not little children. Say, it's not you that I want. I mean, it's you I want, not your money. I don't want to be a burden to you. I don't want to place demands on you. I don't want to say you have to pay for my hotel room. I don't say you have to feed me. No, I said I want you, not your money. I don't need your money for my ministry. I don't need your money for anything because my God is able to supply all my needs according to his riches and glory. None of them will try to interpret the Bible to say that fact. No. Children should not have to provide for their parents, but parents should provide for their children. I like the way somebody put it. They say, yeah, the only time you can provide for your parents is when they are too weak to provide for themselves. Of course, when they get older. Remember, the reason why your parents provided for you when you were too little was because you are too little. You are not working. So when your parents get older and no longer working, of course, you, their children, should take care of them. It is a natural thing. You don't need any commandment. You don't need any law to tell you how to treat your parents as they treated you. But do you know they made law for you to treat your parents even better than they treated you? That's why they gave you the religion that keep you ignorant, inability to think for yourself, inability to understand science, inability to question things. Just believe. Children, obey your parents. It's there in their book, Ephesians chapter 6. Tell them. Remember, in the same Ephesians chapter 6, it said, slaves, obey your masters. And he said, children, obey your parents. Can you think? Children, they raise children as slaves. Train up a child in the way he should go. So when he grow up, he will not depart from it. And I've been saying it. You don't need to train children. You need to live with them. When you live with children, they'll be learning from you. It is a natural order, both to plant, animals, and human beings. It has nothing to do with any spiritual anything. Anything that has to do with law and commandment is slavery. And all the system we have today are slavery system because they destroy African system, which used to be natural system. So stop supporting the circle of poverty, the circle of slavery, which is parents depending on their children to go and make money and take care of them. That's one of the reasons you see many people today having children. I want to have a child. I want to have children. Even when they don't have what it takes to help that child, to provide for that child. But you know what? I want to have it so that when I get older, we see who will look after me. That is evil. You have put you have put a lot of demands on that child even before you conceive them, even before you born them. But what else do you have? You have the written laws and commandments they have already put down for you to use as slave manuals to raise those children. And those children will believe that. Don't you hear many children saying, oh, nobody's like my mother, nobody's like my father. But if they tell you the truth about how they were raised, you will shed tears. But they were raised to fear their parents as they fear God. After God is the parents. Fear God, fear your parents. How do you fear God? Obey his commandments. How do you fear your parents? Obey them. You don't have your own say. Your parents know what is best for you. Of course, poverty, slavery system is man-made. Poverty is man-made. There was no poverty in Africa before the Arabs and the Europeans came. But we have been miseducated to think that we have those things before white people came even to liberate us or to help us. And many of us have been in this system. We think there's no other way out. This is how it is. Be it. I was discussing with somebody earlier on WhatsApp. And she said to me that, okay, I should leave everything now. I said, see, use yourself. I'm not that stupid. I'm not foolish. Of course, we are still slaves as a people. Then that's why we are calling us to wake up so that we can demolish the existing system and restore our own system, which is natural, where everybody is rich. There's no poor person in nature. Everybody is rich naturally. In nature, there is no rich and poor. In nature, there is no evil and good. No. In nature, there is perfection. In nature, there is excellence. In nature, there is prosperity for everyone. That's what nature is all about. And that's why those that establish the evil system don't want you to think naturally. Don't want you to say you want to establish or restore the natural order that we had before they came. You hear some people today, grown-ups, going online everywhere asking for empowerment. Empower me. Oh, send me this, give me money. These people have parents. Your empowerment is supposed to be the sole responsibility of your parents. Oh, I need financial assistance. It's supposed to be the sole responsibility of your parents. They're supposed to provide for you the money you need, the things you need. And that's why parents should think before they have any child. If you don't have what it takes, don't have a child by faith. Don't have a child by fear. Oh, I don't want to be like I'm impotent. I don't want to be childless. Why not? Why not? Look at the tree. Not every tree is that bear fruit. Not every tree is that bear fruit. So don't have a child or children by hope. I hope they will do this, they will do that, because you will end up falling into depression and even having heart attack. Oh, my children are wayward, they're not listening to me. That's bullshit. It's because you did not provide for them as supposed to. You see those children, you said they are criminals, they are this. Parents are their poor parents cause it. Or how about rich parents rich parents, their children are wayward because some rich parents are stingy to their own children. Even they are stingy to themselves too. And that's why our people said, you are making money, or you are making wealth or gathering things, and you are not enjoying them. He said, look at that dead body. Look at that body, look at the mouth. You know how their mouth is. They're not eating nothing anymore. So many people are working cops. They are laboring, but they're not enjoying it. That's why I ask you, enjoy your life. It's affecting us, including myself, but I keep pulling myself out of it. Sometimes I come to myself, I know I'm not doing that. Children should learn from you, and you should establish your children, not you giving birth to children for another people to establish for you. And that's why the government like the system, because in the slavery system, no, just breed the children. Don't worry. The Lord, meaning the slave owner, will always provide. God will provide. God gave you the children. God will provide. It's a lie. God didn't give you those children, and God will never provide for them. And if you fail to provide for them, of course, they will be looking to steal from you. And if you don't have for them to steal, they will go outside to steal. That's how I started stealing too. Some of you that say you are not a thief, okay, you didn't steal outside. How about in your family? When you go to the soup pot to steal meat, when you whatever it is, stealing is stealing. But you know, stealing is not wrong. It's because they use religion to tell us it's wrong. You know, white people became rich through stealing. Then they wrote commandment, thou shalt not steal, because they don't want you to steal back what they stole from you. Quote me anywhere. It is the parents' duty to empower, establish their children. Today, you see some parents, I'm happy my son built a house for me. My daughter built a house for me. And you are not the one that established that. So, oh, you are, I tried. She went to school. He went to school. That's part of the indoctrination. That's part of the brainwashing. And we are suffering it today. Children are not born to obey their parents. Children are not obedient. Obedience is for slaves. Children are not your slaves. Children are not born to obey their parents. Children are born to live with their parents. That's how it's supposed to be. When they live with you, they learn from you. They don't go to school for that. And it is child abuse for you to send your little children to school. It's child abuse. That's how they succeeded in abusing us, indoctrinating us, and brainwashing us. They send us to school early. We are crying. We have to go. We're supposed to be sleeping. They wake us up to go. Live humanly, not spiritually, not religiously. No God can help you and your children. It is you. Before you have that child or that children, ask yourself, what have I to provide for them? You are planning for your retirement, but you don't have plan for your children. All you are doing about them is Abu Ekpelechi. God will provide. God will provide. No, that is not way of living. For you to live, before in Igbo land then, or in ancient Africa, before a man say that he has a woman, that man must be able to have means of support, able to feed himself, to feed his woman and his children in the whole family. That's why there was no much problem in the family then. Today, see what is going on in families today. Even some of your children are no longer in good terms with your brothers and their children, or with your sister and their children. Understand that. And then let me ask you, what type of parents were your parents? What type of, stop lying. You start quoting what they taught you, or blah, blah, or you are joining the crowd to say the same thing. Oh, my parents was here, my father was here, my mother was, they were fantastic. They taught me everything I know. It's a lie. You went to school. They didn't teach you everything you know. They didn't teach you even sex. I think when I made that the video titled Home Training. Those of you that brag, my parents gave me good home training. Did they train you how to have sex? No. Those doggy style, war style, eating pussy and all that you are doing, did your parents teach you that? No. And you claim home training. And especially those of you that went and do boy, you live with somebody else for 7 good years, serving that person, not living with your parents. serving another man in his own house. They were maltreating you. Only because after 7 years they settle you, you start your own business, get married also and born your children and continue the same way, treating your children the same way. And you think, yeah, I'm living well. No, you're not. You are still living as slaves. Africans, we are still living as slaves, both the rich and the poor among us. What type of parents are you? You that is parent now, what type of parent are you? Are you not raising your children the same way your parents raised you? In belief system, in poverty, in lies. Are you not raising your children the same way? You gather them, let us pray. Are you not raising your children the same way? Your little children that don't know anything yet, they didn't even learn from you. You send them to be taught by strangers you call teachers. In schools, in religious organizations, they're teaching them. You won't let your children to go to nightclub, but you let them to go to church, go to mosque. The places that are worse than nightclub. Nightclub is a place of fun, that's it. It's a place of fun, not a place they indoctrinate you or tell you there is hell you are going to, or God will punish you if you do so thing for your own enjoyment. Then another question for those of you that are about to become parents: what type of parents would you be to your children? We only have one daughter now. I said I rather die childless than have a child or children I will send to the school system they have now. After the knowledge I have, no, I will not. Instead of sending a child there, I support abortion. But many of you, because of the sentiments they already bombarded us with, you say, no, what do you mean? You have to have. No, you don't have to. Especially when you are saying you don't like problem, you're crying against poverty, yet in that poverty you are producing children. You don't support slavery, yet in slavery you are producing children. That's why you are not rising to fight for what is your right, especially in Africa. That's why you're not, because they already pull you down. They see you struggling, they say, oh, you have to marry. They add to the problem. Then when you're married, instead of you even to work with the person you're married to build something before you have children, boom, you start having children. Then after you say somebody is after you, somebody is against you, your ancestors were evil, your uncle, your village people are evil. No, you are the evil one. You are the one that refused to use your brain. Instead of you solving the problem, you are adding to the problem. When I see people celebrate, oh my, I just had a newborn baby. God bless me. I said, that's more problem. You are adding problem to the problem at hand. You see what is going on? How people, like in Nigeria, they say people now trekking in Nigeria because of the price of fuel. It's expensive. It's too high. Yet you before instead of you to say what shall we do so that we cannot be having children anymore until we be established. I was a Christian when when I first married, and I said that time we will stay 5 years before talking about having any child. There's some of you say you're married because, oh, she's pregnant, I have to marry. No, you don't have to marry her because she's pregnant. Deliver yourself from that bondage, because that's one of the things some families or some women used to get a man and pull that man down. Then you see that man suffering. He used to be brilliant until, boom, he entered that marriage. Because marriage is slavery. You say, no, it works for some people. It don't work for some other. It's a lie. Marriage does not work for anyone. Anyone that say that they're enjoying their marriage, they are liars. They are pretenders. Quote me. And when they come, I ask them question. You will prove that. It is time you be honest and be truthful to yourself. Tell yourself the truth. You don't like suffering. So why should you have a child to partake in the suffering? Tell me. Be honest and truthful. You can't believe in God and be honest and truthful. It's impossible. Somebody that worship God, somebody that believe in God can never be honest or truthful. It's a lie. They can never. They are liars. They are lying. Anytime they open their mouth, of course, because they believe in God. So in closing, let me say it again. Your children are not your slaves. Your children are not your property. Your children are not your possessions, but your fellow human beings. Live with them. Don't train them. Don't raise them. All your children need is for you to live with them. The things they tell you shouldn't teach children is wrong. We should teach children everything, especially sex. Those things religion forbid us, spirituality forbid us from teaching our little children. We must begin to teach them. You don't supposed to send children to school. They're supposed to learn at home, living with you. But you don't know it was in those days when we were farmers. They go, no. There's nothing we are today that we were not before when it comes to living, actual living. Not every parents were going to the farm with their children. No. They also have their children at home. They went to work and come back. Somebody is there taking care of the children because they have destroyed the African system. We think that it is just between you and the one woman as a man. No. You hear that adage, they say that it's African, that they say that it takes a village to raise a child. Think about that. A village, the whole village. But I've been telling you that in African family structure, when you come to a family, let's say a compound, all of them, all the grown-ups there that have their women producing their children sleep anywhere they want in that compound. They weren't clean themselves as you are doing today. All the evil you are talking about today started when the foreigners invaded. But you believe, no, you were doing that before they came. And that's why you will not solve your problem. You have to, you can only solve your problem when you know the cause and you take it as it is. Then, boom, take the bull by the horn. Don't mislead children with belief system. Don't mislead children with your confusion that you don't understand life. Shouldn't mean you teach it to your children. Tell your children you don't know. It doesn't reduce you. It will make those children respect you more when they grow up. My parents told me they didn't know. Now I know better. And they will cherish you. They will even take more care of you than expected. Think so you don't stink. Trash beliefs, trash God, and live humanly. Pardon.